So how do you make a piano roll video? Actually, it's pretty complicated. This is still the simplest way I can think of right now because the other piano roll games aren't quite ready yet. The piano that I'm using is a Casio PS20. It happens to be my favorite at the moment, but it's still not a real piano. And this setup, I promise it's not easy. Your first time is going to be a headache. If you're a computer programmer and you can think of a smarter, easier way to do this, please let us know. Now, I've settled for live recordings through the PSP's pinhole microphone instead of an audio in and the video capture. I actually came to prefer this, but you can do it however you want to. They're basically MIDI files that have been color-coded, and I'll walk you through how to do it. With whatever MIDI editor you're using, the first thing you have to do for sure is separate the hands and quantize it. If you don't know what that means, email me, maybe I'll make a video about that later. So the red is the left hand, the blue is the right hand. Once it's separated and quantized and the notes are all corrected, then you can color code it, or I'll color code it if you don't like to. The program that you're going to need first is this one specifically. I've tried a lot of others. I think you'll save time if you just find this one. There's a glitch in this program that we're going to exploit. I've tried maybe 10 other MIDI programs and none of them do what we need for piano roll. This program's usually about $40 on Craigslist or Amazon. If you can find it, then the second thing you need is on universityofsteve.com. Inside the music library, click on it, and right under this video that you happen to be watching right now is this download. Click on it. Download it. I suggest you give it its own folder. Extract all, delete the underscore at the end of each one. First, open Always on Top Maker. Then, open Keyboard on Top. I like to open it with Windows Picture and Fax Viewer because it can be a very skinny screen. It doesn't need to be wider than that like most other viewer programs. Once this is up, you press Control A to make it actual size, then Control Alt T makes it always on top. Minimize this. Then ignore the configuration file. If you want this to stay simple, I wouldn't even open it or worry about it. I would keep your screen resolution at 1024 by 768 and don't change it. Whether it's a projector or a monitor, it works out best that way with Cakewalk if you just don't change it. Open up Screen Guides. Make sure Cakewalk is also minimized or this will be a headache, I promise. Right after it opens, you've got a whole bunch of lines on the screen. Push Enter. And now you can interface with it. Alt space, hold Alt and press the space bar, and it lets you choose what to do with it. Press M for move, hold the arrow key down until you get onto the secondary monitor or projector. If you just want to do this on the primary monitor, you can. It also works, but I like to have a separate monitor. You want it to be lined up right there. If the word's off the screen, it's too high. If you've got space, it's too low. Press Enter to stop moving it, and then press Enter again to make it full screen. Your screen guides are done. Your keyboard is always on top, and Cakewalk is already open but minimized. Now you want to maximize the keyboard on top, restore, whatever it's called. Make sure it's aligned like this. And then all the way down the keyboard it should stay aligned until the very end of the keyboard. Now you have 3 layers of graphics here. You have this keyboard that we're looking at, which is on top, and then you have the lines, which are the second layer, and then the Cakewalk notes are going to show up under that. Now it may be ridiculous that I haven't found a simpler way to do this yet, but this does work. The third thing you need is MIDI files converted into Cakewalk's format. With that on top, open Cakewalk. MIDI files, you don't need to understand them very well, just know that they end with MID, and Cakewalk's format ends in WRK. If you convert them from MIDI to work, it makes it a lot easier. With this graphic keyboard still on top, press Alt 5 to open up Piano Roll View, pick the tracks, now here is the glitch I'm talking about. G on the keyboard. The letter G centers the view on where the play bar is. So if the bar moves, then you push G, the screen will move to catch up to it. Well, you can do it pretty fast. notes kind of move. If you hold it down, then the notes scroll. I've talked to Cakewalk for a couple of years about this. They keep insisting it's not possible, but you're seeing it. It's obviously possible. If you hold G while it's playing, you get this effect. Well, instead of this jumpy bar, we want that to be the piano keyboard, so we're going to send this image to the secondary monitor by fixing the screen size. It can't be full screen because Cakewalk doesn't span two screens while it's on full screen. It has to be in the restored state, so the Cakewalk is continuous. As you can see, it just runs on down to the second monitor, which is over here at the piano, and there's the keyboard that's on top, and then there are all our piano roll notes. They will probably never end up synchronized at first. You have to press the up and down arrow keys until you get the notes to line up. Now, I warned you it would be a headache, so save it as a .work and it's done forever. You never have to do it again. Press Alt F(S) to make that asterisk go away and you're good. Make sure the room is dark enough, that the exposure adjustment is set right. And what I'm doing is I'm putting my PSP camera on top of this stack of CDs in the Miracle-Gro box, which I like because it's got the curved top, makes it easier to position it. Aim the camera, rest it right on top of the box, aims at the screen, check the piano volume so it's not too loud, and then record.